Hey, hey, hey.
Hey,
It's just being the Joneses.
and I'm Boss, and you are.
I'm April Child. I'm April Child. So we are back with another episode. And today we got like a little, before we jump into our topic,
Mm.
since my husband here, um, he think he know a lot of things about women. So we're going to see what he knows. So I saw this little trend going around with what questions only women know.
Only
Quite
women
nat-
know.
quite naturally, we know that other people, like men, know some men know some of these answers, but we gonna see what you know. That's you know, okay?
Okay, here we go. I'm ready for the challenge.
You ready?
I'm ready. Oh, let me put my thinking cap on.
Oh my gosh!
All
All
right.
right, so and don't try to cheat off of my little question guide here.
You got the answers on there?
Nope.
What the hell sheet?
Oh yeah. Well, if you see the questions, you might try to think about it now. You
Okay.
got all right. So the first question is, what's the size of tampons? What's the different sizes of tampons?
Um, there's light, medium, heavy, and super. I think.
Okay, so that's your final answer.
That's my final answer. That's the best I can give you.
All right, so there's light.
Yeah.
You got that right. So you get a kiss for that one.
Oh, shoot. Hold on, not there.
Oh,
See, that kiss for later.
and there's regular, not medium.
Not medium.
There's super, and
Okay, I got the super.
there's super plus.
Super plus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got two. 2 out of 4, right?
Yeah. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
But just don't go in the store looking for me no medium tampon. All right. Next question. What's a pap smear? And why do women get them?
A pap smear is when you go to your OB/GYN appointments and the gynecologist puts you up on that leg, get the little put you on the table, put your legs up and get the little duck looking thing. Move it up. Light it up in there and look around and see what's going on. All up in that
But why
vein.
is she? What is she looking for?
He or she looking for any abnormalities, looking for signs of maybe cancer, or which I guess is the abnormality
From on what?
in the uterus, and all up in that vag.
First of okay, that was a good, decent, a decent explanation. But you could get PEPs, not just GYN do PEPs. PCPs do.
Oh, what's PCP?
Primary care physician.
Oh, they do.
Hmm.
Oh,
I don't go. I go to GYN for mine though. I prefer that, but
hmm.
I just let my PCP know that I get mine from a GYN.
I really didn't know that.
Yeah, they could do that as a part of your yearly checkup.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was right anyway.
When you go for your and
So
so
that's 1 point.
to detect changes in cells of the cervix that can
Changes
lead to cancer or can be
the
cancerous.
cervix. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
The cervix. Yeah.
All right. Next, what does 4C refer to? I mean, what does 34C refer to?
34C is a bra size.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh gosh.
I know about the titties.
Okay. What is a bodycon dress?
Bodycon dress. I don't know, but I'm gonna guess and say it's a form-fitting dress. It like the dress that really hugs your curves and everything. But I honestly don't know.
Okay. That's right. It's a body conscious dress. So it's fit. It does fit in a tight fitting dress that hug your shape.
Boy, look at here.
Body conscious.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least.
Hold on, how many I got right? I'm like what? 3.5?
3.5.
Hold on. I got which one? Hold on. I got the first one half right.
I
got the OBGYN
no,
right.
First and foremost, it ain't no halves. Either you get this on the test, you don't get halves. Well, sometimes they do
partial credit.
part.
That's partial credit.
Who
I
said I was giving partial
partial credit. You ain't say nothing.
What? Okay, next, last but not least.
All right.
Name 3 different liners women wear. 3 different kinds of liners. This one gonna stump you.
3 different kinds of liners. Well, of course, that's panty liners.
Mm-hmm.
Is a slip a dress slip?
You're not allowed to ask me no questions. You answer the question. I'm asking the questions. You answer them.
I thought we were having fun here.
We are, but I'm the asker.
Dang. Okay. Panty liner. I honestly don't know. That's it. That's all I got.
I'll give you 3: panel liner, lip liner, eyeliner.
Oh. Of course. That was easy too. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't think makeup.
But you didn't do too bad.
I did good. You told me I didn't do too bad.
Okay, so you didn't do too bad. So that
you better give my props.
I am. I said you didn't do too bad.
No, I want a little bit more than that now.
What you want me to say?
I did good.
Okay, you did. You did well.
I'll take it. All right.
All right. So the topic that we're going to discuss.
Hold on. What's my prize though? What's my prize? What I get?
We didn't discuss prizes.
Oh, okay. Well, you got me that kids though, don't you? So that'll be good enough.
I might let you rub my feet. That might be the prize.
Might let me be your slave. Okay.
It's a privilege.
All right.
So I saw something. So I want to discuss this topic because I got different thoughts about this. I got different agrees and disagrees about this one.
Mm-hmm.
But so it says having married friends is so important, which I of course agree.
I agree.
The advice from your married friends versus your single friends are vastly different. A lot of your single friends' advice will keep you single. Okay. So I always see people say that, you shouldn't be taking advice. If you're married, you shouldn't be taking advice from single people and stuff like that. Now, I agree and disagree. But not because the person is single, that makes me disagree. I also don't agree that you should be taking advice from all married people.
That's right. I was just thinking that. because depending on who the person is, you can get better advice from single people versus married people. You can get better advice from a single person who's never been married than someone who is out there dogging out their spouse.
Yeah. Now, I can kind of understand where some people would say they don't take advice from certain of single friends and stuff like that, because that's because they probably see that those people are maybe bitter, may feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's necessarily has to do with that they're actually single, but more so their mindset. That's what I think. It's more so the mindset that you have, because there are single people, like you said, that can give some great advice and not and sometimes it can come from their own experiences. They could be single, but that doesn't mean they didn't have experiences that they didn't learn from, or experiences or wisdom that they cannot take and give to somebody else.
Yeah. Through any kind of
because of their relationship status.
Yeah, because they may have seen a good friend or a family or somebody go through certain things in a marriage, and really understand what's going on, and be like, "Whoa, well, I know that's not right. That's wrong," and they can take that knowledge and give it to someone else.
Well, not only that, just their own experiences. Like, just because you're single don't mean, for one, you've never been married.
Oh yeah, true.
Or don't mean you've never been in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't mean that you don't have experience with relationships. And honestly, just because you have a relationship that didn't work out don't mean that you don't know anything about relationships, or how to be a great person in a relationship.
Right.
You could be a great better half in a relationship, but ended up single. Because honestly, I feel like that's where I was. Like when I got divorced, I don't believe that made me, when I was, and then I became single, I don't think that put me in a situation where I didn't know how to give good advice to somebody who was in a relationship. I was in a relationship before, and there was a lot of things that I learned from that.
Yeah.
So,
and you had a lot, based on what you went through, your experience, you had a lot of advice to give.
Yeah. But at the same time, I also don't think that as married people, you should be taking advice from any and everybody anyway, regardless of what your relationship status is.
Yeah, that's right. Totally agree.
Because have you ever heard somebody married give some horrible relationship advice?
I'm pretty sure I have.
Because I know I have.
I'm pretty sure I have. It don't really ring a bell right now, but I know I've heard some bad advice given from someone who's married. Yeah,
I have seen and witnessed people who have been married for years. I'm talking about years on top of years.
Mm-hmm.
I done seen them give some good advice and some bad advice when it came to marriage. Because, and I say, you have to be careful with that, because sometimes people can be in their feelings, their own personal feelings.
Yeah.
Or they can give you advice from a place of their own hurt, or just of whatever they see from their own eyes or their own perception. And it sometimes it's not the best advice.
Mm-hmm.
For that particular couple.
Yeah.
And what might work also for some people may not work for the next person. Or the next couple.
Yeah, that's right. Every advice definitely not for everybody. I know if I was gonna seek advice, there's a few people who I would trust, and there's others who I know I wouldn't, because I don't. Just by talking to you know who you can take good advice from, really. and you just wouldn't. I know I wouldn't just take it from anybody. Anybody with some good sense wouldn't take advice from these certain couples. You know what I'm saying? Because the stuff that I don't know.
Well, some.
My comfort level wouldn't allow me to do it.
Your comfort level?
Yeah.
Is it because
bringing stuff up to them and be like, hey, well, what would you do? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just these particular people who I just know for sure I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think I trust their opinions too much.
Is it because you don't like how you don't like what you see in their relationship or their marriage, or is it because the things that you've heard them say about relationships or whatever?
Both, really. Yeah.
Like for me, I don't really I'm not even gonna say I don't take advice for my marriage, but I'll say that it's not really. I honestly don't really discuss a lot with people. I discuss most of whatever I need to be discussed with you.
Yeah, same here.
So it's not a lot that if it's something that I discuss with somebody, most likely it's not anything serious.
Mm-hmm.
It just might be some, a little whatever stuff, certain things that ain't even much, nothing to really, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, like I don't really do that. And it's not because I don't think somebody can give me good advice. I don't trust. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't see the need to really be like, okay, tell me what I should do about this, because I feel like we can talk about what we need to do about something and work it out amongst ourselves.
Oh yeah.
And if it's something above our, what our capacity to be able to do together, then we got a therapist we can go to.
Mm-hmm. Good one.
So
but we can definitely work out anything. Well, I would say most things. We can just work it out ourselves, and we're a team, and we've got through a lot coming this far.
Now, right, exactly. Now, there's been times where I might have said to maybe one particular person that hey, tell me what you think about this, and for like a certain situation or scenario, and then if I want to really try to make sure I'm looking at something, if I want to check how I'm looking at something,
yeah,
or something like that. But it's just more like for your opinion or your perception of what's happening versus you giving me advice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. But I think that the best thing to do, I don't think there's anything wrong with getting advice from people you trust, but I still think that before you act on advice, you should like pray about it and really be able to go and talk to your partner about stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Because just because a good advice or fairly decent advice is given to you doesn't mean it's gonna work for you and yours.
That's right. I remember a long time ago I was given some advice, and I was going through a rough patch in my previous marriage, and I met this person, this woman, and she gave me some really good biblical advice. It uplifted me. It gave me a little bit of hope, you know what I'm saying? And overall, it was some pretty good, solid advice,
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I know it's like I say, it uplifted me and made me feel better. And I was really thankful. She was married.
Okay.
Yeah, she was married, and this is somebody who I met through someone else, and it was solid, and I appreciated her so much for that.
How well
Mhm.
did you appreciate? Not okay. I'm just
Nah.
friends.
Oh, it definitely wasn't nothing like that. It definitely wasn't like that. We was always just real cool. Even when I was single, you know what I'm saying? I still saw her every now and then. We were still just cool, you know, just hey, how you doing? Whatever, but that's all it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, somebody had told me that I was having a conversation with a friend and her friend, and they asked, and when they knew that I had been married before, and this was my second marriage, they said that, oh well, I can't listen to you because you done been divorced.
Oh man, come
And
on, really?
so I was like, okay, me personally, I don't have an issue with somebody not wanting to receive advice from me because, first of all, I'm a therapist and I work listening to people and helping people to process and assessing and doing all these different things like that. For one, for two, I don't really care. Like it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. If somebody take my advice or not, because it's their life, as long as it don't affect me.
I know that's right. Yeah.
When it comes to something that affects me or people, if it's like family members, whatever, it's something that's going to affect me. That's different. If it ain't affecting me, I don't care.
I wouldn't care either.
So
I don't know why people when go ahead. I don't want to ruin your train of thought.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I was like, okay. I said, that's fine. I respect that. I said, however, I was married the first time for so many years, maybe like 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was not the best relationship for me. But then I remarried and I got it right the second time. And been married almost 16 years and have a wonderful marriage. So I mean, hey.
But that person's holding that divorce over your head. I wonder why people think that. Some people actually think that if you were divorced, then you're just like just so broken and damaged goods, and you're like they almost talk to you like or talk about you like you're just little statements like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't really disrespectful. It was just that it's just the sound of it. Like, oh, I can't take advice from you because you was divorced. You've been divorced before. Like you just damaged goods, and you're always damaged.
I just don't know how to make any good decisions, or I don't know anything, but have no wisdom.
Like you ain't got no good decisions, or you ain't got no good advice at all.
Never mind why I might have been divorced from that person.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Never mind that, but just more so. Oh, you've been divorced, so no,
that's
I
it.
can't. Yeah,
you divorced. That's it.
And
game over. You ain't got nothing good to say to somebody.
Yeah. So.
And I brought that term damaged goods because that was somebody told me one time. Oh, you damaged goods.
Really?
Yeah, long time ago. Somebody. Like, hey, what?
While you were single?
Yep. I was like, all right, well.
Dang.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yep. Dodged a bullet there. So hey.
Hey. Well, you some good damaged goods.
I mean.
But yeah, and not only that, sometimes people will say that, okay, I don't want to go to her, and people have asked me before, like, are you married? Because like, especially if it's a married couple.
Yeah.
So some people don't want to go to therapy with a therapist that have never been married. So, I mean, if that's their preference, I get it, but even though she doesn't have the experience, like we have different experiences in life that could actually help us in our profession. But even though she or he does not have the experience of being married, that doesn't mean they're not trained to be able to help you. Because believe it or not, like a lot of people only want to say that therapists, all we do is talk to people, all we do is do. No, it's way more. It's a whole training. It's whole education. It's whole training.
Degrees.
And all this out here that we have to actually
degrees.
Yeah.
Certifications, licenses, continuing
Yeah.
education to maintain those. I mean,
Like, I don't have bipolar disorder, but that don't mean I can't help somebody with bipolar disorder.
exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't suffer from depression, but that don't mean I can't help somebody that suffers from depression.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different things I have not experienced that I have helped people and been successful with helping people in.
Just talk.
So that doesn't mean that, you know. So, I mean, but it's their preference.
Yeah.
If they don't want to go to somebody or listen to somebody who have never been married, then hey,
so be it.
So be it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would hope that people would not let that, because if anybody tell me they don't want to come to me as a therapist for whatever reason, that doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hope that people don't allow them to get to them, especially like even single people that know you're good. Like, I have a single friend, and I've never had any situation where I feel like she gave me any type of unsound, you know, advice or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard her give other people relationship advice that was really pretty good. You know what I mean? And she's been in a relationship before. She's been married before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I mean,
yeah, people just gonna have their preference, and that's okay. Because it's their money, it's their time.
Yeah. And
but I just don't look down on someone
people.
who or be like, hey, well, you never been in this situation, so what do you know?
Yeah. Nah, it will be. Now, like I said, there's people, regardless of relationship status, that I just won't take advice from.
Yeah.
I know that there's people out there who have had marriages where I would never want my marriage to look like their marriage looked, or who have marriages I wouldn't want my marriage to look like their marriage looked. And I just wouldn't take advice from them. And then there's people who, I feel like it depends on the way they look at relationships too, and their way of thinking, and all of these things that make me determine like if I will even talk to you about anything that I even got going on, or whatever. And sometimes people give unsolicited advice, and their unsolicited advice let you know right there that you will never ask them for no advice, because your solicited advice sucks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some people give advice that would cause division between married people, the couple. So it's like, no, like, you giving that type of unsolicited advice, you saying these things, you planting these seeds that's not even healthy, these toxic seeds. And then if somebody's a toxic person themselves, and see, that's another thing. If you're a toxic individual, I don't care what your relationship status is. No.
I forget that.
So,
yeah, some people, you just know that by their way of thinking. Like I was saying earlier, just some people way of thinking, you just know good and well you wouldn't ask them for that type of advice. Yeah. Not if you care about your own, you know what I'm saying? And you're trying to get back to stable ground in your relationship.
Let me just say that I have nothing to, let's talk about pastoral counseling. And I have I have no issue with people going to their pastor for marital advice, but I have seen some advice coming from pastors in the church that has kept people in relationships that they should have gotten out of. I'm talking about abusive relationships and everything. So you got pastors that provide great counseling to married people, But then on the flip side, people have went and got these advice from the church or people in the church, you know, and have stayed in these relationships where they should have been got out of these relationships because of religious and, you know, people's religious thinking, their religious viewpoints. And sometimes, a lot of times, it's just their own opinion, but they saying, well, God would want this. But at the same time, these people are staying in abusive relationships because of what their pastor said do or what the church said do.
Yeah, and they're not walking in those person's shoes. But yeah, pastors. I think a lot of them can give some pretty good advice, but I'm looking for more like spiritual guidance from a pastor. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you got some relationship advice to offer, then cool. Let me hear what you got, because that could be some words of encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I, for whatever reason, I may need to go seek a pastor for spiritual guidance. But but I'm definitely going to a serious trained therapist for help in that region.
Yeah. And it definitely depends on. I think a good pastoral counselor would know when to refer someone and tell them, "Hey, I can help you with this. I can offer you this, but this right here is beyond my scope of counseling. So you need to seek a licensed professional for this particular thing." So depending on what's going on, but when it comes to like marriage stuff and all of that different things like that, it can definitely be some stuff going on in your marriage that can require a trained, licensed professional to be able to help you through it, depending on what's happening and what's going on with each individual person in that unit.
Yeah. Could be some delicate situations going on, right? Delicate mental situations. And you need that professional.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I mean, as for me, I get very little advice from anybody when it comes to my relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, it just, nope. Because outside advice, especially from the wrong people, can cause you a lot of, it can make things a lot worse.
A lot of damage. Definitely got to be careful with that.
That you can't come back from, or that you might struggle to come back from, I would say.
Yeah.
And sometimes people have them little jealous spirits too, where they'll be trying to throw some little, add fuel to the fire and throw some little salt in there and here and there and da-da-da.
Yeah. Yeah, forget that, because they own. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, the jealous, toxic people, all throwing all that salt in your game, in your marriage and our relationship. Yeah. But again, you kind of already know who that is. Well, I guess some people may not always, but for the most part, I think people know.
Yeah. And I could understand sometimes some men be saying, you be listening to your friends, your single friends, and your single friends gonna have you single, something like that. I can get that to a certain extent. Because like I said, you have some single people who are going to be like, oh, like make negative comments. Like when you want to spend, or you spend it, if you want to spend most of your time with your man, you know what? Dudes go through that stuff where they mess with other dudes or like be like laughing at you or either talking down because you want to spend time with your family or your wife or whatever, and you don't want to be hanging out with the boys to a certain, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dudes definitely get talked about. Oh man, you got a ball, she got a ball and chain, or you can't get out no more, can't hang with the boys no more, and all that junk.
But yeah, so you gotta just be careful of who is giving you, who you receiving that advice from. And if you got single friends who just be talking crazy, then you already know.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't single no more. Like you ain't single no more. You're married.
Yeah.
So things gonna change in your life.
It's
not gonna look the same as when you were single. So when people say certain things or try to, oh, I wouldn't be doing this, I wouldn't be doing that. Yes, you would. More than likely, you probably would. You just ain't doing it because you're single.
Yeah, because they ain't got to.
You'll be washing them clothes too.
Yeah.
You'll be going home at a certain time or whatever.
Making that Publix run on the way.
You'll be doing that too.
Yeah.
Or maybe you won't, but maybe that's why things don't be lasting for you. So
better pick up them super pads if she need it.
But yeah. So anyway,
I mean tampons, super tampons.
I knew what you meant. But there is super pads.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there are regular, super, extra long,
Dark.
overnight. I had got some this since we ended the topic. I'm gonna just this little on the that part of the topic now.
All right.
So I had got some these pads that I use, the brand. I had got they have some overnight, but they also have some overnight extra longer, overnight long or something. But I didn't notice that it was a difference between them.
Yeah.
So I bought the wrong ones, and I bought the overnight long ones, or extra long or whatever. When I tell you I had to get them things away, them things would wrap. Them things was so long, so long. I'm trying to tell you. I was like, this will be up my back. What is this? Like, I'm too little for these.
Long.
Oh my God, when I tell you it was so long, it was long.
And you can't
Like a couple of them left. I'm gonna show it to you. I packed up all them things and I gave it to somebody. I was like, here, you got a way bigger booty. Yeah, whatever. Maybe it'll sure you way wider than I am. Yeah. Whatever. And so maybe you could fit these, but me, these things would be from my stump belly button around to my
small of your bag, huh? You gotta fold it up and roll it right over your, take it over your back.
Like, So I was like, I had to look it up before, and it showed that it was an overnight and overnight long. I was like, okay, so that's where the confusion came in.
Yeah.
So now
you should have flapped it over your drawers. Like what? And like over the front of your drawers. You should have did that. You could have won.
No, because I don't really even wear the overnight like that much, like that really. But
yeah,
I was just like, no, I can't. But anyway, thank y'all for listening in to this episode.
Yeah.
And I mean, how y'all think Boss did with the questions? Let us know in the comments. And let us know in the comments if you are a single person who think you give good advice, or if you're a married person who think you give good advice, or if you just don't think that you'll take advice from certain people depending on their relationship status or whatever. But let us know in the comments. And until next time, we're out.
Peace and love.